Hi everyone, welcome back to the Chris Watts Discovery Read Aloud. Again, my name is Allie, for those of you who don't know me. Today we're going to jump right into Officer Dahl's supplemental report on page 69 of the Chris Watts Discovery. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, so we have a supplemental report here with witness Nathan Trinistich, who is the neighbor again to the east of the Watts residence, the one with all of the video footage of Chris Watts loading up his work truck, as we'll find out later in the discovery. Officer Dahl says, on August 14th, 2018, at approximately 0915 hours, Officer Dahl was asked to respond to 2905 Saratoga Trail and obtain video footage from Nathan Trinistich. Detective Baumhover gave 3 times to check 0145 hours, 0530 hours, and 1247 hours on August 13th. Nathan showed Officer Dahl video footage. Officer Dahl recorded the video footage and will have it attached to the case. Nathan was asked for all the video footage for the 13th. Nathan said he would have his wife contact Xfinity and have the video footage transferred. Nathan said he would contact Officer Dahl when the footage was available. Nathan provided a phone number, which is blacked out. No further information. Officer Kenneth Dahl, Ken Dahl, 979, Frederick Police Department. This is Officer Walge's supplemental report. As we already read through the statutes, murder in the first degree, and the person charged as Watts Christopher Lee. Officer Walge says, on August 15th, 2018, at 0600 hours, I reported to 2825 Saratoga Trail in order to process what I was informed was a consensual search of the scene for clues to missing persons that I was informed resided there. I am assigned as field evidence technician for this agency. I took various photographs of potential interest at the scene as I searched. I later had same photographs logged into evidence. It was agreed at the beginning of the search that a CBI agent would take responsibility of taking overall photographs of the scene at this time. See agent's report. I collected various items to enter into evidence, including multiple electronic devices and watches, see property tab, and transported these items for immediate analysis by assisting agencies back at the incident command center. I immediately logged these items and later, after initially analysis by agencies on the scene, sealed and placed these items into evidence. I collected a hardback book within its original Amazon shipping box that was titled Hold Me Tight, appearing to be brand new. I was informed that it had been located in the recycle bin. I collected a light blue nitrile glove that was located on the top of the refrigerator in the kitchen. On scene, I noted the location of what was believed to be S. Watts' personal luggage with ID attached to the outside indicating C. Watts. I was later informed that this item had been moved from where officers had initially observed it being, namely in a small corner area directly next to the stairs, leading from the main level up to the loft. I observed it located just inside and to the left of the master bedroom doorway. It appeared to be completely packed with clothes and overnight items or toiletries, as if probably still packed from a trip that I was informed S. Watts had recently gotten back from. I unpacked the items to examine anything that might stand out as abnormal, with photographs. It appeared to have normal personal clothing items and toiletries that one would take on any small trip. The most notable item collected on the scene at the time, and what appeared to be out of order, were pillowcases and a top bed sheet found within the kitchen trash can located next to the kitchen island, along with other items generally found in the kitchen trash. Most notably was what appeared to be missing from an average bed sheet set, and possibly what was the fitted sheet portion of a set. I immediately passed this information on to supervisors in the Incident Command Center. Later on, same day, at approximately 22:12 hours, I reported back to the scene to execute a search warrant. Items collected from the search were logged into evidence. A copy of the search warrant was left on the kitchen island along with an inventory list. End of report. Officer Walgie, 978, Frederick Police Department. This page seems to be blank. Okay, Supplemental 5, Officer Goodman. Supplemental report number property. Okay, this appears to be the Lexus with a year of 2016 and a color of white, belonging to victim Shanann Catherine Watts, home address 2825 Saratoga Trail, Frederick, Colorado. On Wednesday, August 15th, 2018, at approximately 8:50 p.m., as requested by Sergeant Bakes, I secured the doors, rear hatch, fuel door, and hood of a white in color Lexus SUV bearing Colorado license plate, VIN number, which has been partially blacked out. The vehicle was a vehicle of interest in this active investigation, and I was further requested to have the vehicle towed and impounded by Brad's Towing in their secured inside vehicle storage. I secured the vehicle using evidence tape, which I signed and dated, and completed a Frederick Police Department vehicle impound recovery report. Once Brad's Towing arrived, I had to unseal the driver's door so the vehicle could be loaded onto the flatbed tow truck. The vehicle was then loaded onto the tow truck, and I followed it to the secure storage lot, where I once again secured the vehicle once it had been brought into the storage building. I realized that there may be another vehicle of interest from this case being transported to the storage lot, and I once again unsealed the Lexus so the tow operator could secure the vehicle further inside, making room for the other vehicle. The Lexus was then sealed with evidence tape, and the tape was signed and dated. I remained on scene at the storage lot until the building was locked and secured. Body-worn camera footage of the vehicle being secured at the towing storage location is available on evidence.com. End of report. Okay, this is Supplemental 6, Officer James. On 8/14/2018 at 21:38 hours, I responded to the Walmart at 2285 East Ken Pratt Boulevard, Highway 119 in Longmont, to reference a tip from a citizen advising Shanann was possibly sighted in the checkout line buying 2 booster seats and a child's potty seat. Upon arrival, I met with an assistant manager who led me into the surveillance rooms. Once there, we reviewed a videotape and located an adult female with 2 young juvenile females in the self-checkout line at the store. One of the juveniles was sitting in the seat of the cart while the other was seated in the car. The juvenile female, seated in the car seat, had a long braided ponytail to approximately the middle of her back. I sent photos and video footage to Detective Baumhover to review. Detective Baumhover advised he did not believe they were the missing persons. On 8/15/2018 at approximately 20:15 hours, I transported Chris Watts' father, Ronnie, from the Frederick Police Department to area hotels near Firestone Boulevard and the East I-25 frontage road. Before leaving, Ronnie collected his duffel bag from the back of his white Lexus SUV. There were other items in the trunk of the SUV, and he advised the bag was the only item that was his. Ronnie went inside 3 hotels in the area, 2 of which he said did not have any vacancies. He advised me he was going to stay at Comfort Suites located at 11292 Business Park Circle, Firestone, Colorado. At approximately 22:05 hours, I took photos of Chris while he was in the interview room at the Frederick Police Department. The photos I took were of him and his shirt off, his hands, head, neck, and face. There was a red mark on the left side of his neck that he identified as being a mosquito bite. There was also a red mark on the front of his neck. I did not observe any other obvious signs of injury to Chris's body. See photos. At approximately 23:02 hours, I entered the interview room and placed Chris into custody via handcuffs. A belly belt was placed on him and his hands were secured in the front. I then transported Chris to the Weld County Jail. Throughout the ride, which was recorded via body camera, I did not ask Chris any questions and he did not make any statements. Chris was released to the custody of jail staff at approximately 00:03 hours. No further information. Officer M. James, Frederick Police Department. This is Supplemental 7, Officer Albert's report. On August 15, 2018, I contacted the mother of Shanann Watts, Sandra Rusek, via phone. Sandra lives out in North Carolina along with her husband, Frank Rusek. I asked Sandra to give me some background as to Shanann's marriage to Chris and what she may have observed over the past few months. Sandra informed me that her daughter and Chris had been married for the past several years, and over that time, things seemed great between the two of them. Sandra believed that Chris was a great father and husband, and that she couldn't ask for a better person to marry Shanann. However, Sandra noted recently that Chris's behavior had seemed to change. Recently, Chris, Shanann, and the grandkids had spent time out in North Carolina with Frank and Sandra. During that time, Chris appeared to be quite cold towards Shanann and the children. Sandra recalled one night where Shanann was quite sick due to her pregnancy and had been vomiting for most of the evening. Sandra noted that Chris had not been supportive at all to Shanann, and Sandra found it quite odd. Sandra made other references to Chris's behavior being cold and indifferent towards Shanann. I asked Sandra if she knew why this could be, and she was not certain. I also asked Sandra how often she spoke to Shanann, and her reply was, every day. Sandra described her relationship with Shanann to be extremely close, and they would talk on the phone frequently. They also chatted on video via Skype as well. Nothing further at this time. Sergeant Albert, 976, Frederick Police Department. This is Supplemental 8, Officer Davies' report. On 8/15/18, between 1600 hours and 1800 hours, I stood at Aggregate Boulevard and Billings Avenue, one of the entrances to the Windham Hills subdivision. I made contact with vehicles and pedestrians entering or leaving the subdivision. I handed out flyers with information regarding this case and asked people if they had any information they thought might be relevant to this case. I asked each person I contacted if they had security cameras on their homes. I requested they contact Frederick Police if they have any video footage of vehicles or people in the neighborhood the morning Shanann, Bella, and Celeste went missing. Nothing further at this time. Officer Brad Davies, Frederick Police Department. This is Supplemental Report 9 for Officer Manley. On Tuesday, August 14, 2018, I, Officer B. Manley, was called into the Frederick Police Department to assist with efforts to locate a missing mother and her two small children. I was tasked with conducting a canvass search of the surrounding areas to look for Watts Shanann, date of birth 1/10/84, Watts Bella, 12/17/13, and Watts Celeste, date of birth 7/17/15. I walked around the community handing out flyers and speaking with homeowners in the area and trying to see if anyone had seen where the missing family went. At the time, I was not sure if they left on foot or in a vehicle and wanted to help locate them in a timely manner. While talking to several residences in the area, we were also able to locate several houses with a door ring camera or other types of video cameras. I did not see anyone walking in the area at the time the three parties went missing. I did not see any recording that showed odd vehicles in the area and did not see the three walk past any home with cameras. While I was walking the neighborhood, I was not informed of any sightings of the family, and I was not able to find anyone who saw or heard anything. I contacted a young Travis, unknown date of birth, who was able to provide me with camera footage from the Windham Hills subdivision's public pool. He provided me with a USB drive with several hours of video and several angles to view. I did not see anything unusual and did not see any vehicles that were matching the husband's vehicles. I did not see anyone walking around during the night, but the cameras do not show all routes that someone would have been able to leave the area. The USB drive was entered into evidence and attached to this report. I was met by Levi Husk, unknown date of birth, on 8/16/2018 at the Frederick Police Department. Husk provided me with a USB drive. He stated that he lives in the 6300 block of Saratoga Trail. I reviewed the video on the USB drive but did not see anything pertaining to the early morning of 8/13/2018. I have placed the USB drive into the Frederick evidence lockers. I was provided 2 USB drives from Test SimKings. One USB drive was from store number 10858, located at 10858 Jake Jabs Boulevard, Firestone, Colorado. The second USB drive was from store number 1548, located at 16420 Washington Street, Broomfield, Colorado. I gave them to Commander Egan and CBI and FBI personnel. After they were finished with the USB drives, they were given back to me. I did not view the recordings, but have added the USB drives to this report and placed them in the Frederick evidence lockers. End of report. Officer B. Manley, number 986, Frederick Police Department. Okay, these are some of the handwritten notes from the supplemental of Officer Manley. Sorry about that, my mouse isn't working the best. Ruby Hill Drive, 6330, no info. Door camera, but nothing on camera. 6325, no info. 6305, not home this weekend. Mother-in-law was in and out during the weekend. We'll reach out to them. 6333, no answer. This just has a list of the other Saratoga Trail and surrounding neighborhood locations. I wish I could read half of what these people write. It's a wonder they can read them themselves. Okay, gray truck, 5:15 a.m. Now these are the neighbor Betty's notes. She did see a gray truck at 5:15 in the morning. By 6:45, when she returned from the gym, it was still there. At 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it was still there. At 5:15, Betty did notice that Chris's lights were on in his truck, which was not normal. She does have a Ring doorbell that will pick up surveillance at the corner. It was also reported there was a white van 2 times in the area. Another neighbor saw the van in daylight hours. These are some notes from additional neighbors and what they saw. I'm going to just click the down arrow here because my mouse scroller is not working. Okay, supplemental report 10, Officer Coonrod. On August 15th, 2018, at about 22:45 hours, this officer responded to an Anadarko oil well site near Roggen, Colorado, to search for evidence. Upon arrival, I was advised by Colorado Bureau of Investigations that they had collected several pieces of evidence and placed them in evidence bags. Hair samples from the thief hatch on top of an oil battery, parts of a rake, a bed sheet, and other things had been collected. These items were given to Detective Baumhover. We started excavating a potential dig site about 100 feet from the oil tank battery. The dirt appeared to have been freshly dug. At about 2300 hours, we located the body of an adult female, which we believed to be Shanann. The body was decomposing and was removed at about 0010 hours. The body was in a shallow grave. The buttock was approximately 8 inches from the top of the burial site. Weld County coroner took possession of the body. Photographs were taken. Nothing further. Officer Coonrod, 0901, Frederick PD. Supplemental Report 11 from Officer Coonrod. On August 16, 2018, this officer responded back to the oil well site near Roggen, Colorado, to check the oil tank battery for the missing children. A grid search around the oil well site was conducted. A piece of a rake was found. The rake piece was given to Detective Baumhofer. Anadarko had back trucks on site and began draining the crude oil out of the oil tank battery into a holding tank. The crude oil was then pumped into the back truck using a hose with a screen on it. After the crude oil was removed from tank number 17697, Colorado State Patrol hazmat crew removed the entry door. At about 15:30 hours, CSP hazmat crew entered the oil battery and found who we believe to be Celeste Watts. The juvenile was wearing a diaper. The body was decomposing and was completely covered in crude oil. Weld County coroner took possession of the body. Anadarko then drained tank number 17698 in the same manner. At about 17:50 hours, CSP hazmat crew entered into the oil battery and removed who we believe to be Bella Marie. Weld County coroner also took possession of the body. Photographs were taken and the removal was recorded on taser. Nothing further. Officer Coonrod, 0901, Frederick Police Department. This is Supplemental Report 12 from Officer Lyons. On Friday, August 17, 2018, I received a safe-to-tell report stating that a woman, who identified herself as Juanita, saw on the news that a woman and her 2 daughters were found dead and that Chris Watts was to blame. She goes on to state that one of her Facebook friends has a daughter named Bella and that he mentions misinformation about having a wife. She stated that she has more information but wants to wait and didn't know what school, so she, quote, just chose one. Very strange. The report has no contact information for Juanita. A copy of the Safe to Tell transcript has been added to the file. Nothing further. Officer K. Lyons, number 989, Frederick Police Department. Here's an additional report from Officer Lyons. On Tuesday, August 14, 2018, at approximately 11:45 hours in the state of Colorado, County of Weld, Town of Frederick, I, Officer Kate Lyons, responded to the police department and met with a search and rescue team and their canines for search efforts regarding the disappearance of Shanann Watts and her 2 children. After being briefed on the situation, I, along with Officer Perez, Deputy Tkach, and Boulder County Sheriff Jane Zimulski and Jeff Hebert, Search and Rescue Dogs of the United States, responded to the home of the missing individuals. Sorry if that was a little bit jumbled. Upon arrival, I contacted Chris Watts and explained to him that the Frederick Police Department brought in some extra resources, search dogs, to help in locating his family. With his permission, he allowed a full search of his home. Prior to the beginning of the search, Deputy Tkach explained what would be needed for the dogs to have a successful search. She explained the need to collect scent articles. While speaking with Chris about appropriate items such as shoes and clothing, she stated the importance of the items not being touched by anyone else. Each time Deputy Tkach asked about Chris about specific items, he mentioned that he had in some way touched them. Deputy Tkach was able to collect the scent from shoes. Upon entry to the home, I immediately noticed a strong odor of cleaning chemicals. The home appeared spotless and the carpet had noticeable vacuum lines. As we walked back to the kitchen or living room area, I observed that the television was on a sports show. While standing by the back slider door, Deputy Tkach inquired about the little girl's shoes on the back porch. Chris said that the girls wore them to a pool party and that the shoes had been wet, so he put them out to dry. During conversation, Chris mentioned that he had made the girls' beds that morning and had done laundry. He said that he had a hard time sleeping and he's used to one of his little girls throwing chicken nuggets at him and the other one sitting in the high chair. Chris was asked about Shanann's car and if she drove it to the airport, and he said no, Nikki dropped her off. It's the white car out front. He was asked if he drives it, stating the white car in the driveway. No. He was asked if his wife has a car, and he pointed to the garage and said yes. When asked if he drives it, he stated that he took the girls to a pool party in it on Saturday, even though we know that the party was on Sunday. Officer Perez commented to Chris that he can't imagine what he's going through. While speaking with Chris, he showed no emotion and did not seem to respond appropriately to the situation. Chris did not ask any questions or offer to help at any time. Chris's facial expressions rarely changed. However, when they did, he seemed to smile or smirk inappropriately, displaying a lack of empathy, specifically when speaking about his children. His voice remained low and even-toned. His nonverbal cues were very apparent. Chris had very erect and almost tense posture, and his arms crossed a majority of the time. Chris lacked eye contact and appeared to be nervous, looking around constantly. Chris escorted us through the entire house, showing us each room, including the laundry room where he dug through dirty laundry and again mentioning that he was doing his kids' laundry. Prior to beginning the search, Chris was asked to step outside so there was no interference with the dogs. Deputy Perez remained with him and the front door remained open so that at any time he wanted to discontinue the search, he could do so, and the information could be easily relayed. I entered the home with Jane and her canine, who she stated is a cadaver dog, which we know is incorrect. It's a search and rescue dog. As we moved through the home, Jane explained what type of scent the dog alerts to. Jane mentioned several times that the dog alerted to areas where there may have been some sort of trauma or struggle, such as an argument, which is correct, explaining that scent from people, pools, and collects in areas. The dog did not locate any human remains. Well, that would make sense because the dog does not search for human remains. The dog searched for signs of trauma. The search continued from the neighborhood clubhouse, west and then north, circling back to the home without success. Jane's dog was later taken to Chris's work truck, which was parked just east of his home. Jane stated that the dog detected but gave no hard command. However, the dog did not enter the vehicle and the doors to the vehicle remained closed. While in the home, a track dog was asked to enter, which would actually be the cadaver dog, as there had been some indication from the cadaver dog that a struggle or argument may have ensued. Jeff Hebert and his canine entered the home. Jeff stated that his dog showed interest in the unmade bed in the basement and an area just below the stairs, but did not do any final trained alerts. We exited the basement and went upstairs to the garage. No indicators were noted in the garage, and we exited the home. After completion of the canine searches, the canine team was thanked for their help and they left. I remained in the area to assist with a neighborhood canvass, going door to door, handing out flyers and speaking with residents. At approximately 20:15 hours, I returned to the PD and was told that we were done for the day. The reports and map track from the canine team members have been added to the case file. On Wednesday, August 16, 2018, at approximately 15:30 hours, I reported for duty and was asked to respond to Aggregate Boulevard and Windham Hill to hand out more flyers and contact people in and out of the Windham Hill neighborhood. At approximately 1800 hours, I was instructed to sit on the south side of the house and not allow anyone in or out of the home. I remained at that location until instructed to respond to the front of the house at approximately 2200 hours. At approximately 2212 hours, a search warrant was executed. I was tasked with perimeter security, not allowing anyone not authorized to step on the property. At approximately 2216, I notified Sergeant Bakes that the tow truck arrived on scene. I maintained the crime scene log, and at approximately 23:28 hours, after completion of the search warrant and evidence had been secured in patrol vehicles, I handed the crime scene log over to FET Officer Walshy and left the scene. Nothing further. Officer K. Lines, 989, Frederick Police Department. This is Supplemental Report 14 from Officer Perez. On August 14, 2018, at approximately 11:45 hours, I dispatched to 2825 Saratoga Trail regarding 3 missing people. I arrived at the Frederick Police Department and was debriefed on the situation. I was told by Commander Egan that I would be assisting a team of search and rescue dogs in trying to find a direction of travel from the 3 missing people, Shanann Watts, Bella Watts, and Celeste Watts. I arrived at the address 2825 Saratoga Trail with 3 search and rescue dogs. 2 of the dogs were from Search and Rescue Dogs of the United States, and the 2 handlers were Jeff Hebert and Jane Zimajewski. The third dog was a canine unit from Boulder County, and the handler was Deputy T-Catch. Upon knocking on the door, I contacted Christopher Watts. Officer Lyons asked Christopher for consent to have officers enter the home to collect a scent sample for the dogs to sniff and also for a dog to enter the home. Christopher was advised this was voluntary and had the right to refuse. Christopher agreed and let the officers inside the house. While inside the house, I observed the house was very clean from the middle and upper level of the house. Deputy T-Catch asked Christopher if there was any dirty laundry from Shanann, Christopher's wife. Christopher showed Deputy T-Catch a basket of laundry that was located in the master bedroom bathroom. Christopher advised his clothes were also mixed in with Shanann's clothes, so Deputy T-Catch was not able to use any of the dirty laundry. Christopher advised Deputy T-Catch that all of the dirty laundry that belonged to Bella and Celeste, Christopher's daughters, he had picked up and put in a dirty laundry basket. Christopher advised he made both Bella's and Celeste's beds and had touched the covers and pillows. Christopher advised the most recent pair of shoes that Bella and Celeste wore were from a pool party they went to on Saturday, which was actually on Sunday. Christopher advised Bella and Celeste wore the shoes home from the pool party. The shoes were located just outside the back patio on a chair. Boulder County Canine Deputy T-Catch took a scent sample from shoes that belonged to Bella and Celeste. Deputy T-Catch took a scent sample from a pair of sandals that belonged to Shanann. I asked Christopher if Shanann usually goes out on hikes, and Christopher stated, "We've never been on a hike." When going back inside the house with the rescue dog and Jane, a news reporter and neighbor were inside the home and asked to step outside so the dog would not be confused with all of the scents inside the home. One of the rescue dogs and Jane entered the home, and Christopher chose to step outside to do an interview with a news reporter. I stayed outside with Christopher and advised him on several occasions he was allowed inside the home, if he wished to go inside. Christopher stated he understood and still chose to stay outside with the news reporter. Video and audio was recorded and will be added to the case file. Officer Lyons stayed with the rescue dog and Jane inside the house. Officer Lyons told me to ask Christopher what Bella and Celeste were wearing on Sunday night into Monday morning. Christopher advised Bella and Celeste wear pajamas to bed and usually wear long dress-style pajamas. Christopher advised that he did not know exactly which ones Bella or Celeste were wearing that night. Officer Lyons stated that Jane requested a different dog enter the home. Jane stepped outside the home with the rescue dog, and Jeff went inside the home with a different dog. Christopher was asked again if he consented to have the dog enter the home. Christopher advised again he understood and consented to letting the dog enter the home. For more information on the dogs being inside the home, please see Officer Lyons' report. Once the dog was done from inside the home, Deputy T-Catch and I searched around the area with one of the dogs to try and catch a scent or trail from Bella, Celeste, or Shanann, leading anywhere around the area. Deputy T-Catch and I walked from approximately Windham Hill Parkway and Saratoga Trail to Billings Avenue and Miners Peak Circle, then from Billings Avenue to Aggregate Boulevard to Windham Hill Parkway, and then from Windham Hill Parkway back to Saratoga Trail again. The dog did not alert for anything around the area that was searched. Exact GPS locations of what the other two dogs searched will be added to the case file. Deputy T-Catch drew on a hand map the areas she had searched and not found anything. The map will be added to the case report. Christopher's work truck was parked just northeast in front of the house on the north side of the street, facing west. One of the dogs was taken to the work truck, and Jane advised the dog showed interest in the truck. Jane stated the dog did not alert for any human remains inside the vehicle, but the dog caught the scent of one of the three missing parties. Command staff was advised. I was requested to retrieve video surveillance from McDonald's on 3650 State Highway 52 in Erie and Home Depot at 16420 Washington Street in Thornton from 8/10/2018 at midnight to present time on 8/14/2018. The manager of the McDonald's stated only a supervisor has access to the video surveillance, and a supervisor will not be in until 1900 hours. A flash drive was left with the manager. Upon arrival at the Home Depot, I spoke to the manager, who informed me he did not have access to the video surveillance at the store. The manager stated he would have to request the video footage to the store that has access. I left a business card containing the case number and date and time of video surveillance that was needed. The manager advised he should hear back within a few days, and that store will contact me once the video is ready. At approximately 20-30 hours, I was advised there were currently no more assignments and done for the day. On 8/14/2018, at approximately 2300 hours, Sergeant Bakes called me to come back to work and watch the house. At approximately 0030 hours, I arrived at 2825 Saratoga Trail and parked in front of the house. I was advised to stay watching the house and only document if anyone arrives at the house. I was advised that Christopher was spending the night at a friend's house. No one arrived at the house all morning. At 0600 hours, I was relieved from my position by Detective Baumhover. Nothing further. Officer Perez, number 987, Frederick Police Department. This is Supplemental Report 15 from Amanda Purcell, who keeps the evidence at the Frederick Police Department. Over the course of the investigation, I, Records Supervisor Purcell, have assisted by answering calls to the Frederick Police Department and fielding these calls and messages to the appropriate parties. I have also been answering and/or forwarding all emailed correspondence directed to the Frederick Police Department with regard to this case. Any photos that were taken by officers were given to me, which I then downloaded to the electronic case file for this investigation. Records requests pertaining to this investigation have all gone through me, which I have thus denied so as to avoid any hindrance or endangerment to the investigation. Media personnel looking for records, not information from the Public Information Officer, have been handled by me. I have informed these persons from various media outlets that no records regarding the suspects, victims, or the associated addresses will be released at this time, so as not to damage the investigation, as it is still ongoing. As evidence technician, I handle the intake of all evidence items according to the policies and procedures set forth by the Frederick Police Department. All items were checked in, verified for description accuracy, intact seals, affixed with appropriate evidence tags, and is stored in our locked security alarmed evidence room. Nothing further. Records Supervisor Purcell, 1701, Frederick Police Department. Here are some of Amanda Purcell's written notes. Wishes to remain nameless, don't mention to medium. This is a report by a medium from Massachusetts. Intuitive, medium. Also friend, 10 years, lupus support group, Facebook only. Dispute 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. immediately upon arrival. Triangle situation, affair, leans towards Chris seeing someone or being jealous. No intent to harm. Strangled Shanann. Girls suffocated afterwards. Described feeling in bag or underwater. Moved to in truck. No bloodshed. Driven to deep wooded section not far from home. Lake near woods, deep wooded, difficult to find. Issues at home related to money. Too much time spent working, thrive. Didn't sit well with Chris. Vision, each girl wrapped in blankets after. Bodies suffocated. Bodies not far from home. Okay. Some additional written notes. And these are upside down, so I'm not sure how one expects us to try to decipher this. These are just a bunch of tips that were taken. Okay. Katie, Carbon Valley Glass, continue. Christy Mahone, Daily Insight, Sergeant Albert, Huntsville, Alabama. Is there a fund for the family? Donations? Renee, Child Protection. 910, and the rest is blocked out. CBS News National, 9 News. Obviously, these were all media inquiries. This is Supplemental Report 16 from Officer Andrew Fairbanks. On 8/15/18 at 1600 hours, I went to the area of Windham Hill Parkway just west of Aggregate Boulevard. My assignment at this position was to hand out flyers to motorists entering the neighborhood. I also requested anyone with a home security camera system to provide their contact information to be passed on to investigators. I remained at this position until about 1745 hours when I was advised by Sergeant Biggs to clear this assignment. Nothing further. Officer A. Fairbanks. This is Supplemental Report 17 from Officer Bradley Davies. On 8/17/18 at 0816 hours, I, Officer Brad Davies, was dispatched to contact Taylor Welch regarding this case. I spoke to Taylor via phone. Taylor stated she is a friend of Shanann and her family. Taylor advised me she occasionally babysat for Celeste and Bella, and that she was a good friend of Shanann. Taylor stated that she was helping plan a gender reveal party for Shanann's unborn baby. The party was scheduled to be on 8/19/18. Taylor stated Nikki, Nicole Utoft, or Nicole Atkinson, informed her on 8/8/18 the gender reveal party would need to be canceled. Taylor stated she initiated a text conversation with Shanann regarding the cancellation of the party. Taylor thought the text conversation may be relevant to the case. The following is a reproduction of the text conversation that began on 8/8/18 at 8:39 hours. Taylor: Nikki just told me you want to cancel the gender reveal. What's going on? Is everything okay? Shanann: Chris said we are not compatible anymore. Taylor: I just landed in Chicago, like still on the airplane. Taylor: Oh my God, what? Shanann: He said we are not compatible anymore. He refused to hug me. Said he thought another baby would fix his feelings. Said he refused couples counseling. Shanann: Before I left, we couldn't get enough of each other. Taylor: What the hell changed in 6 weeks? Shanann: He said he had a lot of time to think. Taylor: I'm so sorry. Taylor: I don't even know what to say. Shanann: Girl, me either. Taylor: We will get together when I get home. Shanann: I've cried myself to sleep over a week now. Shanann: Okay, honey. Shanann: Have a great time. Taylor: I'm here for you and whatever you need. Taylor: I love you. Shanann: Love you more. Thank you, love. The following is a reproduction of the text conversation that began on 8/9/18 at 18:20 hours. Shanann: Next Friday, I think the 17th. Could you help with kids for a few hours? Taylor: I have to work both of my jobs. I'm sorry. What's going on? Shanann: We are trying to leave for the weekend. Friend who's staying weekend can't be here till after 7. Taylor: Oh, sorry. I work 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Taylor: You and Chris? The text thread ended with the following text that appears to be on 8/13/18 at 17:26 hours from Taylor to Shanann. Taylor: Are you and the girls okay? A copy of the text thread screenshots will be included in the case file. I advise Taylor that investigators will contact her with any further questions. Nothing further at this time. Officer Brad Davies, Frederick Police Department. These are Officer Davies' written notes. Taylor Welch, babysat, talked to Shanann Friday. Weird text conversation, Henderson, Colorado. Nikki, gender reveal party planned Sunday. Here is the snapshots of the conversations between Shanann and Taylor. Okay, let's continue scrolling. This is Supplemental Report 18 from Officer Scarlett. At approximately 10:15 hours on August 14, 2018, in the town of Frederick, County of Weld, State of Colorado, I received a phone call from Commander Egan with the Frederick Police Department asking if I can come into work to relieve CSO Simmons, currently posted in the Wyndham Hills subdivision watching a house. At approximately 12:08 hours, I coded into the Weld County Dispatch that I was en route to 2825 Saratoga Trail. At approximately 12:17 hours, I coded into Weld County Dispatch on scene. I met with CSO Simmons, who explained that I was relieving her and to sit in the unmarked silver Caprice facing south on the west side of Steeple Rock Drive, approximately 100 yards north of 2825 Saratoga Trail. Officer Simmons explained that I was to keep a log and document unusual activity. Bushnell binoculars powered 10 by 25 were used to assist in viewing the house from my position. I observed the following. Voice to text was used to keep notes on police department issued cell phone, then emailed to my work email. The email was printed and placed in file. Spelling and grammar off due to voice text inaccuracies on iPhone. Spelling and grammar corrections made, then added to the report. 12:23 on scene. 12:28 white car parked out front of 2825 Steeple Rock Drive facing east, unknown license plate, left northbound Steeple Rock Drive. 12:39 observed white four-door SUV type vehicle return to 2825 Steeple Rock, which I'm guessing he means is Shanann and Chris's address on Saratoga Trail. Did not see the occupants get out. 14:15, relieved for a restroom break. 14:20 to return to post. 14:57, garage door of 2825 Steeple Rock Drive. Can see white Lexus in the garage. Observed white male, short dark hair with beard, gray shirt, and black shorts walk from the front passenger side to the rear of the white Lexus, unknown license plate. Open the back hatch and place what appeared to be a square bag with pink flowers with white behind the flowers into the back of the SUV. Then proceeded to grab a cloth-like item already in the back of the SUV and place it into the bag. The male then closed the hatch and walked back to the right side, passenger side of the SUV, out of sight. Then the garage door closed. Did not see license plate. 15:17, garage door reopened and acquired plate off of white Lexus. 15:17, garage door closed. 15:22, information on Lexus given to Detective Baumhover. 15:29, received call from Commander Egan to return to police department. End of log. On August 15, 2018, I was asked by Officer Brent Manley to help with an informational checkpoint at Billings Avenue and Aggregate Boulevard. At approximately 1600 hours, I was posted on Billings Avenue at Aggregate Boulevard with Officer Ken Dahl, passing out flyers to all passerbys asking if they knew the person in the flyer, knew anybody that knew the people in the flyers, or had cameras on their home. Individuals indicating they knew of or had cameras were asked to pull off and speak to Officer Dahl. See Officer Dahl's report. At approximately 1800 hours, Officer Manley had me return back to the Frederick Police Department. End of report. Frederick Police Department, CSO Scarlett. This is Supplemental Report 18, again from Officer Scarlett. 12:23, on scene. 12:28, white car parked out in front, unknown license plate left southbound Steeple Rock. 12:30, black truck stopped southbound Steeple Rock at Saratoga Trail, then activated right blinker and made right turn. 12:33, same truck, above, came back around, stopped to pet dog, two white occupants. One appears to be a male driver, female passenger. Stop at stop sign, make a left on Saratoga Trail. 12:34, appears to be more new crew one and a blue shirt guy, female carrying camera in purple shirt, tan hat, appeared talking with Officer Perez. 12:37, southbound Steeple Rock West on Saratoga. 12:39, did not observe white four-door SUV type vehicle. I know exactly what time. I'm guessing this is voice to text, so it's pretty unclear, so bear with me here. 12:48, K-9 unit exit home. 12:50, offer surprise returned, appeared to be a different K-9 unit, both entered home. 12:51, officer press exit at home. 12:51, news crew departed. 12:53, same news crew returned to resident, guy wearing a baby blue shirt, girl wearing purple t-shirt. 13:01, K-9 and officer lines exited home. Truck blocking view. 13:49, red truck towing a trailer with unknown license plate, has yard maintenance equipment in the trailer, stopped on Steeple Rock, made a right-hand turn to go on West Saratoga. 14:15, relief for a restroom break. 14:20, return to post. 14:57, garage door opened, white Lexus in the garage, open, back of Lexus, put pink bag with pink flowers and white in back of SUV, then put items already in back of SUV into pink bag. 1500, closed back of SUV garage door, closed garage door, did not get plate of SUV. 15:15, two news crews showed up on scene. 15:17, garage door reopened and acquired plate off of Lexus. 15:17, garage door closed. 15:22, information on Lexus given to Detective Baumhofer. This is Supplemental Report 19 from Officer Bradley Davies. On 8/17/18 at 13:19 hours, I was dispatched to 2825 Saratoga Trail, Frederick, Colorado, regarding a burglary in progress. The RP stated that there were 3 people inside the house and he didn't believe they were supposed to be there. The RP stated that there was a camera person and a male in a suit inside the house. When I arrived, I made contact with 5 individuals inside the house. They advised that they were part of the defendant's legal team. I identified the following individuals inside the residence: Sylvia Patricia Martinez, Richard Eichenboom, Carla Jessica Delgado, Selma Yolanda Maria Sheffield, and James Edward Merson. Merson identified himself as an attorney and provided his credentials. The other individuals were performing a forensic investigation. Dacono Officer Lambert contacted Weld County DA investigator Kathy Holscher. She advised Officer Lambert the individuals were authorized to be in the residence. Nothing further at this time. Officer Brad Davies, Frederick Police Department. Supplemental Report 20 from Officer Ian Albert. On August 14, 2018, I was assigned as the Public Information Officer during the course of this investigation. During that period, I answered numerous phone calls from the media, issued press releases, and conducted 2 separate conferences to disseminate information to the media upon approval of my commanding officers. Additionally, I answered several tips and comments pertaining to this case from the public and maintained an active log of those calls. They were as follows: 8/15/18, possible sighting of victim and children at the Sprouts Market off of Smoky Hill Road. Lead passed onto 986. 8/15/18, female party from Massachusetts called who claimed to be a psychic and foresaw their location being a wooded area near water. 8/15/18, Sandra, mom of Shanann, called to advise that Shanann and Chris had court coming up on the 24th in Weld County, re a family matter. 8/15/18, contacted by GPD, re suspicious vehicle called into their office in Greeley. Vehicle registered to family in Denver, not associated. 18/15/18, friend of family, Sarah Nudd, called to inform that gender party of Shanann and Chris was canceled recently. 8/15/18, Dolores Trumbull called and advised of a possible sighting of victims at 24-hour fitness gym down off of Arapahoe. 8:15:18. Emily Boyer called advising that she was receiving strange emails from an unknown person claiming to be a reporter. Emily lives in Gunnison and advised she has no relation to the case and did not understand why this was occurring. 8:15:18. Debbie Moore from Minnesota also received strange emails stating that someone from People magazine wants info on the case. Debbie has no affiliation of the matter. No callback requested. 8:15:18. Possible sighting of victim at restaurant in Cook City, Montana. RP remained anonymous. 8:15:18. Cindy DeRosset, friend of Shanann, said to check the trash cans for Thrive wrappers at the house. If there are none, then that would indicate that Shanann had not been at the house because Shanann used it every day religiously. 8:16:18. Virginia Kinch called to report suspicious white truck seen near Highway 52 at WCR 3.5 at 01:30 hours on Monday morning. No identifying information on the vehicle, just a white truck. 8:16:18. Kyle Bounds of Jackson, Mississippi, called to inform of a suspicious comment made in one of the comment sections of CBS News Channel forum related to an article reported about the Shanann Watts case. A copy of that log was added to the case file. Nothing further at this time. Sergeant Albert, 976, Frederick Police Department. This is Officer Albert's written notes, info from Sarah Nudd, canceled the gender party, Kyle Bounds, 12 hours after posted, Miss Watts was stabbed. Oh, that must have been what was in the comment on the CBS News site about the Shanann Watts article. Contact Greeley, PO, suspicious vehicle that registered back to owner, maroon Pontiac Grand Am. Debbie Moore, Minnesota, received email that People magazine wanted more info. No callback requested. Virginia Kinch reported seeing a suspicious white vehicle, I believe, Monday around 1:30 a.m. on Highway 52. Cook City, Montana. Lunch at Prospector Restaurant, 8/14/18, 2 p.m. Email, Emily Boyer, Gunnison. 24-hour fitness, June 27th, Dolores Trumbull. Supplemental report 20 by Officer Albert. This is an investigation activity report. 8/15/18. Possible sighting of victim and children at Sprouts Market off of Smoky Hill Road. This is just a continuation of all of the tips that were called in that Officer Albert had fielded. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap on the reading of part 2 of the Chris Watts discovery. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you fell asleep, even better. Thanks for bearing with me through all of this. I hope that you stay safe, and I'm looking forward to putting out part 3 of this read aloud. I hope that you'll continue to read along with me, and I hope you stay safe out there. Have a great day, everyone.